The sad tomato saga continues. Part 2 right after this. Welcome back to Hummingbird Hill. I'm Amy and it's about 6 o'clock in the evening, and for some reason I thought that my garden would have a little more shade. So I'm down here. I do at least have my visor on. I will have to break out the sunglasses in just a second, but I thought I'd bring you over here just to say hi to all the animals who are hanging out. Look at those rams and the big cow. I don't know what kind of cow that is. Let's see, where's Nick Nick the llama? Nick Nick the llama! Can you see him? It's hard to tell what you can see. Look at those rascals. So many of the animals. So it is Friday after work and I have so much work to do in the garden this weekend. And up on the hill, there are some weeds that are escaping through the hay because the chickens have scratched the hay down to the ground. So that's something I have to take care of. But the first thing I have to do is give you a little bit of an update on my tomatoes. Now I filmed this actually last week before I pulled some of, well, okay, I'll get to that in a second. So I filmed some of this last week, but unfortunately the video has absolutely no sound. So I was gonna post it tonight because I have a very short video about the purple potatoes on the hill. So I was gonna put another short video about my tomatoes, not potatoes. They sound so much similar. Obviously I can't talk. I'm gonna turn around so I can, let's see, there's no shade. I'm looking for shade. I've got no shade here. Let's walk this way. Let's go over here. There's shade by the grapes. We'll go stand by the grapes. They're looking fabulous. Oh, I'm so gonna get a sunburn. Oh, that's better. So I filmed the update last week and went to edit it a couple days ago and realized it had no sound. I don't know why my phone does this sometimes, but it does. So this video is just a quick little tomato update. Now, you know I was super worried when I planted my tomatoes because for the first time I had a fungus among us. Yes, my tomatoes were spotty. I had to pull all off the leaves. I sprayed them with copper spray and I chose the 5 best tomatoes to plant. And I had 5 different varieties, plus I bought which one did I buy from? Oh, an Early Girl, and I ended up buying an organic Sun Gold because I forgot to grow those, and that is a hybrid that I love because they make a really good sauce when you mix them with red tomatoes or just straight on their own. Oh, such a good sauce. So I got one of those. You saw the video, I was all sad, my tomatoes were pathetic. I don't know why I was so worried because normally when I plant tomatoes anyway, I pull off all but the top set of leaves and bury them deep. That's just how you plant tomatoes, right? So I was super worried, mostly about the fungus, but they were looking great. They were fabulous, and then came March 26th. No, April 26th, because March was, I hadn't even planted them then. See what happens when I try and go back to the update in my head? In any case, oh hello baby, look at you. Look at that beautiful horse over there. Are you scratching? This big white horse, can you see him? Let's see, I hope you can. He likes to go over to my favorite tree. Oh look, it's saying hello to the donkey woos. He likes to go over to my favorite tree and use it like one of the low-hanging branches as a scratchy post on his behind. It's so funny, like the whole tree kind of shakes with it because he gets seriously into the scratching. I can't get quite close enough and I haven't captured him when I have my camera on me because I don't carry my phone all the time, because why? I should do that more often because the animals do funny things and I miss them. In any case, April 26th. My tomatoes have been in the ground for 2 weeks. They're starting to get bigger, they're looking great, and then I checked the weather report. And the weather report says it is going to be 41 degrees at night. Now it has been in like the 45s, which is no big deal, but 41 had me worried because my garden is in kind of a polar vortex. In the summer, the donkeys don't like to sleep up at the barn, they like to come down here because it's often 10 degrees cooler. Well, if it's 41 out, 10 degrees cooler in the garden, that's below freezing, and tomatoes do not like below freezing. So if you've watched me, if you've seen my Instagram posts, you already know about this, but I have some people who don't watch me on the Instagram for the daily updates. You could watch on the Instagram. It's just Hummingbird Hill Homespun if you want to, and you should subscribe here and click the little ringy bell thing so you know when a new video comes out, just in case you want to know more about my tomato saga. So I did what any good gardener would do. I panicked, ran around, grabbed all the buckets I could, and covered my tomatoes like you're supposed to do when there's frost coming in the spring. Again, it wasn't supposed to get to freezing, but my polar vortex garden, I didn't want to take the risk. So I figured I was good. I covered my tomatoes, no big deal. Come down in the morning to take the covers off, and all but 3 of my plants are frostbitten. Black, droopy leaves, they look so sad. I mean, really, really sad. So of course I was just grumpy. In fact, I didn't film anything in the garden, plus we were getting ready for my mom's celebration of life, which was amazing and beautiful. 280 some of her former students, members of her current church and her old church, because she moved out to the farm here with Dad just recently. And so many people came to just gather together and enjoy like her being and celebrate her still being here, which is awesome. I think more people should celebrate other humans before we're gone. This whole funeral thing where we gather after people are gone when they don't know how much we love them and care about them and how much we appreciate them. You know, it was really cool to see all these people just who were so impacted by my mom's life. She had students fly in from Reno, from Arkansas, who came just to visit her because she had such an impact on them when they were first graders and second graders and third graders. And plus one of her former students baked an amazing lemon cheesecake that we hid in the fridge so Mom would make sure to get a piece, which benefited me as well because then I got a couple pieces. Yum! So thank you, Jason. Delicious, by the way. So the tomatoes, yeah, I was grumpy. My tomatoes were dead. There were only 3 that were alive, and frankly, I was so frustrated. Now, Christine at Strawbell Garden, Australia said, hey, tomatoes are more resilient. And I know tomatoes are resilient, but frost, I kind of thought that was a deal breaker. Until I came out about a week later and I saw this. So come on over here. I'm gonna give a full update on the hay bale end of the garden in a minute, but I gotta keep my videos a little shorter because right now things are taking 2 to 3 days to upload because my computer is crazy. So yeah, this is just a quick update and I'll do some hay bale and some raised bed update coming up. So, and I have a ton of planting to do today. Everything else that I have left is going into the garden today. Well, maybe tomorrow too. Because this sun, oh my gosh, I thought I'd have shade. I don't. So I came out here and I was most upset about my Tiny Tim tomatoes because I didn't have any extras. Now I still had some up in the sick bay up by the house. Outside, in the frost or in the cold, they were all fine because again, the garden's in the polar vortex. The house up there, let's see, can you see? There we go. The house up there, just fine, only 41, not 31. So I was really sad about my Tiny Tims, and there was one that had survived. Don't ask me why it did and not the other 2. But I came out here and I was belly aching about it. I was so sad. And then I came and looked and I saw this. Now, this is much more impressive now because when I first saw them, there were only 2 little tiny leaves. And now look at this. Okay, so this right here was totally dead. You can see that poor pathetic little stump. I hope, let's see, are we there? No, this is why I can't, let's see, right there. Yes, okay. So this poor little pathetic stump that you can see down in there, look at all those leaves growing. I am so impressed with this little guy. Now this little guy looks droopy, but it has survived all of the shenanigans and the heat now is driving it crazy. And then this is a third one that I do not think is gonna make it. No, there's like potentially a little leaf over there, but I don't know if these are getting too dried out in the day. Because after we had 2.5 weeks of rain, then 1 week of great, and then around 2 weeks of really cold nights, we have not had rain for almost a month. We may have rain next weekend. I hope so, because last year we didn't have any rain from March all the way through September. I mean, a couple traces here and there, but this is Oregon. We're supposed to have rain, especially in June. I know I complained about the rain, but this is different. 2.5 weeks of rain, that's excessive. See, that's unusual too. So I was super excited to see that Christine was right. I shouldn't have pulled up the poor, sad little tomatoes, and I'm glad I didn't. I just left them because it was freezing at night, so I was like, I can't do anything in the garden. I can't plant anything new. I wanted to get more stuff in. Can't do it. I'm just gonna go pout, and I had a ton of other stuff to do. So I pouted, and then I discovered my Tiny Tims, they're just making a comeback. So at least I have 2 of those. I don't know exactly what Tiny Tims do. They only grow about 6-ish inches, and I thought they'd be really good for the hay bales. So I'm excited to try them out over here. On the other end of the garden, because I was grumpy, I didn't cover all my tomatoes because I'm like, they're already dead. So I don't know exactly. Now, of course, I came out and I pulled out some of the tomatoes earlier this week because I thought, well, I'm gonna replant everything. I have my backup tomatoes. I brought them down. They're looking good. I've been spraying them. I had one that had this one tiny itty bitty little leaf like this, and it's sprouting. It's got new leaves. I mean, tomatoes, oh, you gotta love them. I prefer not to try and kill them before I love them. I've never had these problems before, but you know, when I said that I hadn't had these problems and I said I was gonna call down all of the curses of the ages, apparently I was right. So it's a great year for learning, apparently. This is what the tomatoes all look like over here, and you can see this is a purple Russian, and it is starting to come back. Let's see, I hope you can see that. It is starting to come back. So I may leave that one just because it's recovering itself, or I may pull it. I have one of the backup tomatoes that is looking really good. It's a purple Russian. So I hate to replace that one totally, but I kind of also want my tomatoes to get moving along a little bit, and that's gonna take a long time to recover. So do I leave it? Do I not leave it? The hard decision. Some of them didn't recover that were in and got frostbitten, and I haven't pulled them yet because I happened to realize I had no sound on the video. This was Waxahachie Peach, and as you can, oh my gosh, it may become, look at that. There's a tiny little leaf down there. I hope you can see that because I can't tell. Oh my goodness. When a plant works that hard to come back, it just seems kind of cruel to pull it up. I should have pulled them earlier, then I wouldn't feel bad about it. And over here, these guys have been doing all right. Oh, see, sorry. Yeah, this guy has got some tomato armpits growing up, and this one over here is coming up as well. These are my my baby tomatoes. So, yeah, I had a tomato tragedy that I thought was a tragedy, really wasn't. And so I belly ached about it. Then I had a real tomato tragedy, but then my tomatoes are coming back. You know, the garden, it's just kind of awesome. I have got to get out of this sun. 6 o'clock, it should not be this bright out. Okay, shade, shade, shade. Oh, still some sun out. Okay. Oh, so much better. I am not meant for hot climates. As you can tell by my, reddish face over the peachish overtones of me. In the summer, around 6 to 7, I can usually get out in the garden and there's more shade just because of the way the sun has moved. Apparently I haven't tried to get out here at this time of night so much in the spring before because I really expect it not to be so sunny, but it is sunny. And I have stuff to do, so I'm just gonna go with it, but I probably should put on some sunblock because I'm already turning red. At this time of night, really? In any case, I just wanted to give you a tomato update because you're gonna see me replanting some tomatoes maybe, or leaving them. I can't decide. What would you do? Now I could move those. I've moved tomatoes so many times, even when I just pull up the tomato suckers and put them in the dirt. I moved those 3 or 4 times last year and they all survived and grew 8 feet tall. Choices. In any case, I wanted to give a quick tomato update. I'm probably gonna run upstairs and see if I can get this posted at least by tomorrow, given my internet situation. But I hope all is growing well in your garden and that you will come back and join me so we can do some more growing and potentially belly aching, but I promise to try not to whine too much. Who am I kidding? I'm totally gonna whine if something goes wrong in the garden because I'm so nervous. I grew them from the seeds this year. Isn't that weird? When you start something out from this small, it's so much more, there's so much more emotional investment than when you just go out and buy a seedling at the store. Like, I can go buy another seedling, no big deal. But when you grow them from this big, and well, that big, and it take months, ouch. In any case, I hope that you will come back, and thank you so much for stopping by. I will see you next time.